The treatment that Winter Harris said that she was subjected to on Love and Marriage DC was absolutely atrocious. Not only was the pay abysmal, but the working conditions that she was made to endure were completely insane. Hey, internet friends, cousins, and scoundrels. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. Pull up a chair, honey, and let's have a chat. And since the algorithm really likes it when you interact with the content, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe since you're here. Now I ain't gonna hold you. Let's get right into this. Shout out to Queen Shiba. The Queen dropped the greatly anticipated exclusive interview with Winter Harris of Love and Marriage DC today. And let me tell you, it was quite the eye opener for sure. I have placed the link to the full interview in the description box below. If you have not seen the interview, please go and watch that first, then come back and watch this video. Let's start at the beginning. Winter says that Carlos King set her up to be the villain from the word go. And initially, she actually turned down the chance to be on the show because, unfortunately, she was going through a divorce, and the show, which Monique Samuels described as focusing on Black excellence and healthy Black family dynamics, seemed like a mismatch for her life at the moment. So she stepped back from it. Now, meanwhile, Mel was actually lined up to appear on Monique's podcast that was to be filmed for the show. And that was going to link Love and Marriage DC to Love and Marriage Huntsville, as sister shows. But Mel got sick. So Monique reached out to Winter to fill in, just as a favor, a one-off type thing. And Winter agreed, thinking it would be quick and dirty, right? Something simple. But the executive producer was impressed and wanted her on camera, one more time. Now, during that next shoot, the EP brought in Carlos to watch Winter perform on camera. And after that, they pulled her aside in the production room, and Carlos himself asked her to join the show. And just like that, she was a part of the cast. Now, after hearing that Carlos flew in to see Winter on screen and personally asked her to be a part of the ensemble, Queen Shiba cuts right to the chase and gets straight to the brass tacks. And when Queen Shiba asked her about that bag, child, see for yourself.
Carlos says, I love you. Are you interested in taking the job?
Yes.
What he put on it as far as money? What we talking about? Oh.
What do you mean? Was it juicy? Juicy offering?
Yes.
I don't know what people think we get paid. We do not get Bravo money. What I can say, because I am contractually bound not to give numbers, what I can say is that it was not over $2,500 an episode.
We finna go to break because I know you lie. I know you lie.
That I know for sure. That I can say with full confidence without telling exactly what the numbers are.
Now, was this specific to you?
From what I understand and what Monique had expressed to me, she was the highest paid on our cast, and she told me that I should ask for what she was getting. Mm-hmm. So she actually volunteered what she was getting to me. So I knew what she made, and she knew for a fact that no one on our cast made higher than her.
Which was?
I can't remember her exact number, but it
wasn't above that 2,500.
No, it wasn't above 3,000 for sure.
So Carlos King is, wow,
cheap. Carlos is cheap, but it's not totally his fault. I mean, that's what they signed up for. They agreed to that pay. $2,500 per episode, and Winter said there were like 12 episodes and a 3-part reunion. So you're talking about $37,500 per season. And if you take into account they do a season A and a season B, you're only talking about $75,000 per year. And that's little over the average $60,000 a year salary. So we're not talking about a lot of money here, especially not the kind of money to be putting up with any kind of treatment. Now, this low pay may also be why it seems like half of the cast of LAMH keeps getting sued for not paying their bills. these so-called millionaires are really just millionaires on paper, drowning in debt from loans they can't pay back. Just saying, allegedly, and in my opinion. So to be a part of the Love and Marriage franchise, you have to really be more fame hungry than money hungry. And you need to be able to use that exposure to flip a bag, into some kind of advantageous, profitable venture. And in my opinion, this is where some of the cast of LAMH has gotten themselves into financial trouble. They're trying to use their fame and leverage that into real businesses, and for some, it's just not working out. While others did have real businesses, but may have over leveraged themselves into debt, trying to be perceived as the top earner of the show. Winter said that she was edited to look like she was a relationship coach that couldn't choose her own successful relationship. She said that before filming, she was actually no longer in a relationship or a relationship coach, and she also changed back to her maiden name. And when she advised the show and the producers, they wouldn't edit her name. She also said that Carlos removed her ability to explain that part of her life, and that she had to just go with the storyline they put forth. She said that she was painted out to be the bitter woman who was jealous of everyone else's marriage. Winter also touches on the fact that the cast was left in the dark about why they didn't film for 10 months. Carlos, nor did anyone from his team reach out to the cast to update them as to why they weren't filming and what was going on with the show. And in my opinion, that is just bad business. Winter goes on to say that he did apologize for not communicating with them, but in general, they still don't have a lot of communication with him. She also went on to say that Carlos has gotten word that cast members are thinking about leaving the show. And still, Carlos has not reached out to them personally. Now, I have an opinion on this. I believe Carlos just doesn't care. He doesn't give a damn. I mean, we saw his live on IG the other day where he says he's going to focus on what he wants to focus on. Okay? And he ain't focusing on his shows. He doesn't care. I think that Carlos is a snake oil salesman. Okay? I believe that the network has already paid him for his product. And so whether or not it's successful is, a non-point for him, because he's busy at the next network hawking the same raggedy ass formula over there. Now, Carlos knows that this wash, rinse, repeat storyline is tired and played out, and the fans of these shows are getting bored and restless with all of the toxicity. And listen, Carlos knows his time is limited. So in my opinion, he's hopping networks to sell this repackaged garbage while the iron is still hot. And I believe that he uses LAMH as his golden success story, because the fan base is fanning and the rating numbers are there. Now, what these other networks may not realize is that LAMH is heavily supported by the mellometers, and those numbers are strong. It is what it is. But if Mel was to leave the show, those numbers would definitely reflect it. Winter recalls the season 1 reunion, and she gets emotional because she said that she had never been in a toxic verbal situation such as this in all of her life. She had never been around men that were that aggressive towards women, and she said that it was not stopped by Carlos or production or anyone. Now, does that not sound familiar to anybody watching LAMH? We've seen Martell yelling in Mel's face, Miss Wanda's face, Miss Van's face, Nell's face, and we even saw the exchange with Martell and Marceau when the two of them decided to confront Tiffany. And since we have better insight into this trash ass editing, I am now inclined to believe that the exchange with Martell and Marceau was not as benign as it was edited to look. And that is why Lou got off in their asses. because in my opinion, I don't think Lou was overreacting now that I have this information and I'm looking back. Winter says that as the men are yelling at her and calling her all kinds of names, one of the producers is yelling, "Get her, get her, get her," egging the men on further. What the actual fuck is going on with Kingdom Reign of Terror non-entertainment? Why was this shit allowed? And why did Carlos sit back and watch his producers encourage men to viciously, verbally attack this woman? This is a pattern, and in my opinion, is a clear pattern of disrespect and abuse. The most disgusting thing was that Carlos comes up to her after all of this nonsense and says, "I know that was a lot, but you are strong and you're going to be okay. Thanks for coming to the reunion." And you know, that is why I hate when people put the word strong and black woman together in a sentence, because it means that we're supposed to be able to take punches physically and verbally and just be okay. And that's not okay. You never hear strong white woman, because if you did, you would probably picture a bodybuilder in your mind. It's the same reason you don't hear strong Latina woman or strong Asian woman. Honestly, it doesn't even sound like that makes any sense, right? But black women are expected to be treated like anything and just be okay. And that's not okay. It's not right. As I was watching this interview, and I said this in Queen Shiva's chat, I actually believe that Mel is under more pressure than we actually give her credit for. And we can only speculate about the amount of pressure that this woman is actually under, because according to Winter, they edit all kinds of shit out. And Mel has endured so much in front of the camera, not only from Martell, but from the other cast members as well. In my opinion, the cast members are a certified gang that are put to attack this woman, right? And the reason that our calls for the ending of this mistreatment are going unanswered is because we now have proof directly from the source that Carlos sits back and condones this wicked, evil, and demonic type of behavior. And it's fucking disgusting. And before some of y'all get in the comment section and say, Mel can leave too, please understand for the 150th time that this show is her baby. She pitched it to Carlos. Carlos is the production company. He was able to take it and make it happen with the network, okay? And I believe that with Mel, just like with her marriage, Mel wants this shit show to turn around and make it be what she's always envisioned for it to be. And because of the way Mel is built, and because of her winning spirit and her drive, I believe that Mel has dug in her heels and she's hunkering down and she's trying to weather the storm. And listen, just like any other woman that has had her fill, she will get up from the table when she is done. Winter revealed that editing is done to protect the men on the show. And I have always said that was definitely the case for LAMH. And in my opinion, it is how so many people did not like Mel initially, just like with Winter. It was because of the editing. And that is because when you take a look at LAMH, Martell was edited, especially in season 1. He was edited to look apologetic and remorseful on screen, while Mel was edited to seem unreasonable and unforgiving. So if you only watched the show and did not partake in the YouTube news, if you will, you would not have the full story. And Martell was definitely the antagonist then, and he's still the fucking antagonist now. Anyway, Winter said that she did return for season 2 after much prayer and soul searching because she was promised that production would allow her a redo. Basically, an opportunity to revamp her image from season 1. And even though she admits that she didn't get any more money for her return, I felt that Winter needed the revamp more than the money. And she needed it for herself, and she needed it for her image because it was that bad. And I believe that experience actually really traumatized her, because when she talks about that experience, she actually still tears up. She cries about it. So it's still really affecting her today. Now, she goes on to say that production did keep their word on how she was portrayed. And I believe that is why Winter feels comfortable enough to push away from the table and walk away at this point. I believe that Winter feels some sort of personal vindication. But I, on the other hand, am so disgusted to learn that Carlos not only knows, but condones the type of behavior that we have witnessed from the men on the shows that he produces. In my opinion, it is gross and despicable. But I want to know what you think. After watching this interview, do you think that Carlos King's Kingdom Reign Entertainment is actually more like a reign of terror against Black women? Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Again, everything said in this video is alleged and in my opinion. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bet you know now.